Okay, hi guys, I'm Kristen. This is Kristen is Fully Booked. This is Poppy, who I have with me today. If you hear lots of chewing sounds, that is her. I am going to be sharing with you today the end of the year book tag, which in fact is supposed to be done in the fall. Kind of like a prep of getting ready and making you think about the rest of the year to wrap things up. This is a really short tag video. I will link the original creator Ariel Bissett down below, and let's just jump right into it. First question is, are there any books that you started this year that you still need to finish? And actually, yes. While I have technically DNF'd a bunch of books this year, there are a few that I sort of accidentally put down and do need to pick up and finish. First of which is Malice by John Gwynne, the first book in the Faithful and the Fallen series. I was reading this as a buddy read with a few other channels, all the channels that I do all of my stuff with and where the Check Out Book Club with now currently as well. So we did this as a buddy read in July, but we kind of never set a solid end date or deadline of when we had to finish the book by. And so a bunch of us, or some of us finished it, and some of us kind of kept putting off actually finishing it. So I think I'm very, very close to the ending, but just in the middle of the summer, I kind of got reading a bunch of other things, and I haven't yet finished this. So I think we have a deadline now, towards the end of this month. So I definitely need to pick that up and finish it, which shouldn't be too bad. I also started and never finished Priory of the Orange Tree. I picked it up at the beginning of a period or in a time when I was having trouble actually enjoying or getting into or liking any of the things that I was reading. And it was exactly what I needed when I picked it up. However, it really started to drag in the final third of the book, I think, and I ended up picking up other things and got really into them instead, and I just never went back to it. So I do need to pick that up. I was enjoying it. It just kind of started to slay. I have some ideas on why it isn't 100% or why the ending wasn't 100% working for me. But anyway, I will get back to that one as well. I want to finish that before the end of the year. And the final one is This Vicious Grace, which is a young adult book. I haven't been reading a lot of YA fantasy, but Kristen from the channel Kristen Craves Books absolutely loved this book. It sounded really good, and I did really, really like it. But I essentially got to a point where I think the main conflict was about to begin, and I think I was really nervous about it falling out or how it was going to be rolled out or what was going to happen, and I ended up putting it down. I think I was juggling a few books at the time, and all the other ones sort of just became a higher priority for me. So I ended up finishing those other books, and I think then I lost my library hold for This Vicious Grace. So I do have to pick that up and finish it. I don't think I was very far away from the ending. So those were 3 books that I made it pretty far in and just need to pick them up and actually finish them off to check those books off for the year. Okay, the second question is, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? And this is why you need to do this tag in the fall and not at the end of the year. I did have a book. I've already read it, and that was Spells for Forgetting by ADRIENNE. It's coming out later this month. I was fortunate enough, thanks to NetGalley and the publisher, to get an e-arc of this book. It was one of my most anticipated books of the year, and it was a book that screamed fall vibes for me, and absolutely this book delivers on that atmospheric, chilly Pacific West Coast, misty, autumnal, leaves transitioning, woodsy, hearth magic kind of vibes. It's honestly the perfect fall book. There's a murder mystery, there's lost angsty love, there's town secrets. It reminded me a lot of first season, not any of the other seasons, but first season of the show Riverdale, but without the teenage drama. But so take that, the mystery, what happened to the boy kind of a thing, part of it, and the town family secrets and the angst and the drama, but with adults instead of teenagers. So take out all the high school stuff and all of that, just age everyone up a bunch or skip forward 15 years and now they're getting into what happened to that boy. That's kind of the vibe that you should go into expecting it. It was the perfect fall book, and I will be doing a full review for that. That'll come out closer to the publication date, so stay tuned for that. Okay, third question then is there a new release you're still waiting for? And yes, there is. I don't think I know any that are coming out in November or December, so I'm not sure about then, but at the end of September, I still have The Golden Enclaves by Naomi Novik, the conclusion to the Scholomance series. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really terrified to see how that ending goes. As of filming, like tomorrow is also release date for NONA the 9th, which I'm really looking forward to by Tamsin Muir. But it'll already be out by the time you are seeing this. Question number 4, what are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? I actually made a whole video with 12 books, or like 12 plus or minus a few, of books that I am prioritizing, like must read before the end of the year. So, you know, pick 3 from that video, go check that video out. There was a bunch on them. A lot of it was new releases, like I'm pretty sure The Golden Enclaves was there, No, the Ninth was there, Hunger of the Gods by John Gwynne was there. Those are 3 that I just thought of, but check out the rest of the video to see all of the other 9 and then some books that I need to read before the end of the year. Jot down. Okay. Okay, Puppy's relocated to the floor. Oh, and now we're up. Don't jostle the tripod. Okay, I've forgotten what number of question we're at. There's only a couple to go, so I'm gonna get through this really quickly because she's kind of in a funky mood. So the next question is there a book that you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? I don't think the shock thing makes sense, because if I'm anticipating that it might be a favorite, it won't really be a shock. Anyway, I do have a couple. So I do have really high hopes for All the Seas of the World by Guy Gabriel Kay. I think there's a possibility that that could make favorite book of the year depending on how it goes, like depending on how I feel about that particular book and those particular themes that he, you know, addresses in that one. His more recent writing doesn't quite sync or gel with me quite as much, but we will see. That's definitely a possibility. And then another one is Fury Song by Rosario Munda. I definitely, like, I still haven't gotten to this as of time of filming. But I think that that book absolutely has the potential to become favorite book of the year. Fireborn was the favorite book of the year when I read that one, and Flamefall, I think, was pretty high up there for last year, so that absolutely is a possibility. Drop it. Okay, final question is, have you already started making reading plans for next year? And kind of this is like a yes and no. I have started thinking about my priority series for next year. I also have thought about like how I'm going to do the priority series list a little bit differently next year, and like adjusting and readjusting things from how I did it this year. I'm also thinking about some of the goals that I have for next year, particularly balancing like finishing series versus new releases, and you know, requesting stuff on NetGalley and how to balance all of that. So I'm thinking about more like how I'm going to shape next year a little bit, and not specifically like, I'm not thinking about specific books that I'm going to read outside of like some potential for the priority series. I'm not making any like number related goals yet. I'm not really like setting anything down in stone yet, but I have started to percolate about some various different ideas of how I want reading to look for me next year. So that is it. That is my end of the year book tag for the year 2022. If you have a channel and you haven't done this video yet, definitely give it a go. It is a really quick, easy video to make. Otherwise, answer any or all of the questions in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what the rest of the year is going to look like for you guys. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good day. Bye.